Episode 123. It has been actually slightly over 100 episodes since I have last spoken with my next guest. He is the Funky Bird, Austin Lutchen. Austin, episode 123, man. Like 100 episodes later into the future, you're still fighting. I'm still doing this. We're both doing something right.
That's right. Yeah, it's good to be back. Tyler, nice to see you, as always.
Hey, nice to see you as well. And first and foremost, since the last time I talked to you, you are now in the state of Texas. And I have to ask, when you cross the Texas state line, I have been told rumors, like the Texas Highway Patrol, they ask for proof of several things. Proof that you own oil stock, proof that you're a smoker, and proof that you've voted Republican in every single election known to man. And if you've done all three, you get to visit George Bush's house. Are those things true, or is that fake news?
I hate to go on here and say that that's all a lie, but it is.
Really? Oh, man, that's such a disappointment.
You only have to prove that you know how to operate a fracking machine.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
I think blown out of proportion. But if you can operate a fracking machine in West Texas, and if you drink Bud Light or Miller Lite, you're good to go.
Sweet. Well, that sounds. Do you have a cowboy hat? Yeah.
I do have a cowboy hat, of course, bro. I'm in Texas.
Yeah, like I think you get deported if you don't have at least two.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to have a black one and a brown one, I would assume.
Yeah. No, it's green. It's like a leather green one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds that sounds like 80s glam band kind of sort of.
A little bit.
Yeah, is that what you were going for?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just it goes with a lot of different outfits, a lot of different styles.
Hey, and who am I to discuss style with the man? I mean, you're somebody I try to emulate as best I can. Obviously, I'm limited in what I can do because of fucking genetics. But here's one thing that I was able to do for you. I dubbed you the top male prospect of 2021, and I have to ask, how has your life changed since then? I know the paparazzi can be relentless. I know Ariel Hawani's annoying, and I'm sure he's been busting up your phone every 2 minutes. I apologize for all that attention, but can you look at that? That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I think you have to leave that on the rest of the show.
Fair enough.
So, since you've won that award, talk about how your life's changed, my man.
Oh man, since I received that award, honestly, like things have just really gone up. Quality of life has just increased exponentially. Mm-hmm. We got people blowing me up, hitting my DMs. The inaugural award. Correct?
The inaugural one, yeah.
The inaugural one, and to have so much hype behind it was really just something that I was not expecting.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is a show for the people, and I'm glad that I could bring you aboard the Platinum Yacht and expose you to the caviar life. That's what I'm all about. Nothing, dude. We live the high life here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm happy to accommodate and take the ride with you.
I had a question for you because you're one of the guys that is like one of the most chill dudes I think I've ever met doing this. I talked to the Labais about you. They say the same thing. They're like, I'm like, he's always like that. Like, he's always got to be like the version of Austin I met. He's got to be like that all the time. They're like, oh yeah, like there's no difference between him on your show and then him IRL. Like it's the exact same. And then I start thinking to myself, like, is Austin ever really pissed off about anything? And I think I found your one kryptonite. I think I have found the one thing that really irritates you, and I have to bring it up. Okay. I have to bring it up. It's LeBron James. You really don't like LeBron James.
God, come on. Fuck LeBron James. Get out of here.
So I have to ask, and we can cut out all the political shit, but I have to ask, like, why don't you like LeBron James? Is he just something about his face that's very punchable?
No. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. First of all, obviously I have to acknowledge and recognize that like he's probably the best player ever, right?
Sure.
Maybe, but so he comes into the league like the self-proclaimed king, like doesn't win anything. He just like his attitude, like he breaks up a bunch of teams, gets a bunch of coaches fired, like gets politically involved when he just doesn't have to, and like I feel like it just he just makes things worse by like saying shit because he never really has like a well-formulated opinion, and he's such like a big star, and he just fucking says like whatever, and like people, I don't know, people believe it, and like I don't know, people look up to him and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're a fucking hell of a basketball player, but like you seem kind of like a douche and like just like breaking a bunch of teams apart and like I don't know, just like doesn't know what he's talking about, never has any substance behind what he's saying. But like, what the fuck do I know? I mean, I fucking hate on LeBron. Like, he's fucking LeBron. He's probably the greatest basketball player ever. And I'm a huge Lakers fan and Kobe Bryant fan. And so the comparison of LeBron versus Kobe started, and like, you know, I was younger. I was like, oh yeah, Kobe all day, blah, 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 RIP. And then LeBron went to the Lakers, like my fucking favorite team. And this dude goes to the team and like just trades away all the young talent that they have, or gets all the young talent traded away, brings in all these superstars. They end up fucking sucking. It's like, dude, get out of here. Wins a ring in 2020, but like, come on, that was the pandemic year.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan. Like
he just grinds your gears, and you want to put him in a guillotine choke, don't you?
Dude, I would love to fight LeBron James. I would love to fight him in a ring. And you know what? There's a chance. Like, I'm not saying I would win because he's fucking 6'8", 280, and one shot. You know?
Yeah, but I wouldn't think it would make a difference. Like, you're somebody who's like super you're highly trained. Like, you could be really big, but
right. Well, if I got in on his legs or got his back,
it'd be over.
But dude, this is like Francis Ngannou bombing on you. You know, you don't have to know how to fight to fucking throw a punch. And this dude's like 100, at least 100 pounds heavier than me. I mean, let's make it happen.
I still think you'd win, though. Like,
I do too, but we got to find out.
I don't care if it's 100-pound differential. You're a trained killer. And have you seen basketball players fight?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's pretty god awful. I think I could hold. I think I would be okay in a basketball fight. I'd much rather take my chances fighting on a court than fighting somebody in a cage. That's just my opinion. Austin, I want to touch on something with you. Well, we talked about it earlier in jest, but for people who don't know, you were at Primal MKE. You're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You've relocated to Austin, Texas. And that means there's a new gym, a new set of players, new coaches, a new environment. Can you talk a little bit about like where you ended up, who are you training with right now, and what's that experience been like so far?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, moved here in November. Obviously, leaving Primal was probably the hardest part about leaving Milwaukee. I mean, I had my friends, my family, and like I grew up there and stuff. But you know, Primal kind of covered all those things. They were my friends, they were my family, and it was my training home. So leaving there was tough, but you know, and getting adjusted in Texas, it wasn't hard. Like, it was really enjoyable. Like, thankfully I didn't have to work. I'm a nurse, so
It's Merce, I believe.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the first couple months I was here, like I didn't have to work. I could just focus on training and stuff, but it was hard to find like a good MMA spot. So I had my gym that I train at normally down here, B team, but it's really heavy on the grappling. And like, you know, I mean, it's all grappling. And just recently, like after this gentleman fight, like we started doing like some more wall work and stuff like that, more like, you know, not MMA training, but like MMA based. Whereas before it was like just jujitsu, and like, here's all these high level jujitsu guys, you know, and like, I don't want to like come in there and, you know, say like, hey, like I want to do this, that, you know, I want to do like more like MMA stuff or wall work and stuff. But now that I'm getting more comfortable with them, you know, I can just tell the coaches like, hey, I'm going to work on the wall with this dude. So that was definitely an adjustment. And like I said, like I didn't really find an MMA spot right away. I trained at 10th Planet, and it just wasn't really my style. I mean, there were a lot of guys that I really liked there, and like some of the coaches, like Andy Craig, he fought in the UFC. He's a fucking homie. I really, really like him. But you know, that system just wasn't necessarily for me. But now, since the Jennerman fight, one of my old coaches, Ben, who's cornering me this fight, Ben Bubbles, he came down and he's like, let's go check some other places out. We found this place called Brazilian Fight Factory, which is also like mostly a jiu-jitsu school, but they have this dude, Cody Steele, who's a pro, killer grappler, also an MMA fighter. So I met him and we, you know, kind of just started hanging out and talking. And he said, hey, like, I want to do some MMA training. If you want to get some in, so we got like a little group, and now we got like a core group of like 5 to 10 dudes, pros, amateurs, hobbyists, whatever. And we just get together like 2-3 times a week, MMA training, and then we'll go to his house and like crack some pads or have some fun and fuck around and stuff. So yeah, it's nice. I finally found like a group of guys I can do MMA with, and then like my grappling guys at the BT. And
I
then
think. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Striking. Like I wasn't at a striking gym, and now my little buddy Jackson teaches at this place called Ambush Muay Thai. So I'm able to get some striking in there, get some MMA with BFF and Cody Steele, and then focus on my grappling at BT. So it's all kind of starting to come together.
I know obviously Texas is a massive state, but within the state, there are also other opportunities. And I don't know like what your gyms would feel like if you decided to like cross train at like Fortis or some of these other like big places. Is that something that you might look into doing at some point down the road, assuming your gym's cool with it? Not all of them are.
Right. I mean, potentially, like, I think that what we have now, me and Cody Steele and like one of our other training partners, Keaton rather, like we have something really good going. And if we can keep that going, we're all on the same page in the sense that like we will go other places to train. Like we're talking about going to Thailand in June, like going other places to train, but like we have a good core group of guys and we're all about the same weight, the same level. And I think we can just keep it rolling with what we got. So I don't, I'm not opposed to, like, I've heard King's MMA is moving to Austin. So I wouldn't be opposed to doing something like that. But like I said, I'm really starting to hit my stride, and like, I feel like things are kind of starting to come together more so than definitely before my last fight. And just in general, like Austin has a ton of good grappling, especially now, but they don't really have like a MMA gym yet. Whereas cities like Dallas and Houston do. But I don't know, to answer your question, I think we have what we need here. It just needs to grow maybe a little bit, but I'm not opposed to doing something else and trying another gym if, let's just say, things don't work out.
Completely understand. You hit on something that I want to talk about, and it was your most recent fight. And for people who don't know, I'm going to try to like do my best to like put it into context, because number one, I'm like a huge nerd, and like part of like having a show like this is like you have to be pretty well versed on like who, kind of like the who's who that's not in these bigger promotions, at least for me, because if you're only sticking with the big promotions, you're missing out on a huge opportunity to talk to guys like you that are going to be there very, very soon. That I just think it's cool. I don't want to talk to you like when you're the UFC champ. I want to talk to you now because like there's a lot of things that are going on between now and by the time you get there, and I'd rather catch you on the front nine than the back nine.
Yeah. What if the Funky Bird changes, and who knows? But
yeah.
Now you know the original Funky Bird.
I know the original Funky Bird, and I want to talk about this fight because for the people who don't know, the opponent that you went up against, Nate Jennerman, I've said this to a few different people. I was like, number one, I don't know how that guy's like not on the Contender Series. I don't know why that guy doesn't have a multiple fight deal in Bellator or the UFC. He's good enough to be there, or PFL. He's good enough to be there right now. I think he's like 15-5. He had a lot of experience over you. And I would imagine at the regional scene, it's almost impossible for that guy to get a fight. You had the opportunity to fight him and you took it, and you're like excited about it and wanting to do it. And you and I spoke very briefly about the fight against Jennerman. You're like, yeah, he's a tough dude, but I want to fight this guy. Most people aren't like that. Like most people would look at this guy on paper, shit their pants, tear their labia or whatever the case may be to not fight this guy. You decide like, no, like this is what I want. I want to get up there. I want to see what it's all about. So props to you for taking this fight, man. So I wanted to kind of pause there and ask, like, leading up to the fight, it doesn't go your way, obviously, but like, what were some of like the positive things? Or because like, I just feel like unless you fight guys like Jennerman, you're not going to get any better. And you did that. And I have to believe that you're coming into your next bout a much better fighter than when you were when you were headed into the gentleman fight?
Sure. Yeah, so I'll touch on a couple of those things. So Nate is from an area, like he's from the Milwaukee area. I think he lives in Sheboygan. He's been in the game for a while. But I grappled him like last January, and like I was really like unimpressed with his grappling. And I think that kind of got to my head a little bit. I don't want to say I underestimated him, but like maybe I did a little bit. You know, I thought I was just going to be able to take him down and that'd be a wrap. But like his striking was really fucking crispy. You know, obviously good cardio. Like he gassed me out because I couldn't take him down. And yeah, it was a tough fight. But I think more than anything, like my preparation was just so awful. Like leading up to that fight, just so focused on grappling. Like I said, I hadn't really found an MMA gym yet. Like, so I write all my workouts down and stuff. Leading up to my fights, about 6 weeks out, I start tracking my workouts and shit. And I only did like 4 or 5 MMA classes, like leading up the whole fight camp leading up to Jennerman. And most of that was because like I hadn't really found a spot. And I'm like, fuck, like I don't really have anything that is working for me. So like, I'm just gonna, I don't know, keep training grappling. And like, I was in great shape. Like I said, like I've spoken with you before about like the weight cut was, super simple, the easiest weight cut that I've had, but I just did not prepare properly for that fight. And I think that was the biggest thing. Nothing, not taking anything away from Jennerman. He was easily my toughest opponent. Like he fucked me up on the feet and I couldn't take his ass down. But my preparation leading up to it was just not good. Like I think if I fight Jennerman now, it's a much, much different fight. And I would love to run that fight back eventually at some point when we're both in the UFC. Because yeah, he does have a killer record. He's fought some good dudes, and he's fucking legit. Like he legitimately beat my ass. So I can't say anything more.
Hey, and props to him. I talked to him a little bit. He's a very kind guy. Not a douchebag at all. I like Jennerman. But can you talk post Jennerman? You get back to Texas, and I have to ask, like, you're a guy that doesn't lose. Like, this is a new thing for you. Like, you win and you party after your fights, and you're having a good time. Yeah. And maybe that was still the case, albeit a little bit different.
Definitely was not.
Okay, so no partying. Talk to me about like what was going on in your mind, because like there's always that kind of like situation I feel where that first time you lose a fight, it's like the first time a girl dumps you. Like, and some people handle it okay, and others like they really don't. So what was it like for you? Was it like a tough couple of days? What was kind of like, how did you kind of get out of that funk?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it was just like so embarrassing. Like I sold so many tickets to that fight. I sold probably like fucking 80 tickets. My mom came from Florida, like all my aunts and shit, like a bunch of homies that I haven't seen in years. And I just got fucking embarrassed. And like I talked to them and everyone's like, oh, like we don't care, like blah blah blah. But like, yeah, I definitely, it was very humbling. Very like just like, God damn it, Right. But that only lasted for probably like 3 or 4 days. And then I was like, okay, like, it's just whatever. Like, it's a loss. Like, I know that like, it definitely opened my eyes to some things, and like being in Texas and like, just that next level of opponent, which was Jennerman. And yeah, so like after the fight, I got right back to training. Like I wasn't hurt. So I, got back to Texas. I think I trained like a couple days after, but outside of just getting back on the horse, I started lifting again. I used to not lift at all. Or I did for like 2 or 3 years. Took a little time off because I fucking hate it miserably. And then
I would imagine you have to be careful though, because like you lift too much, and it's like that's a quick way to blow up.
Right. Yeah. No, I just do like low weight, light, like high rep, and squats, deadlifts, like main Olympic lifts and stuff. The same program I was doing before I stopped. So I started doing that. I started training MMA like way more consistently, and I started outsourcing more and just like going to like other places and like seeking out like training there, and also just like going hard. Not necessarily going harder, but like just training like literally every single day. And not that I didn't do that before, but I just I think losing that fight and like talking to certain people who were either in the UFC or like at that level down here in Texas, either at B Team or where we train at BFF with Cody Steele. Just like, yeah, there's levels. Like you gotta fucking eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff if you want to be at that level. Yeah, and not that I wasn't doing it before, but like I definitely cranked it up a notch.
I think that was probably, as far as timing goes, if you're going to take an L, take one right now because
Right.
you're so close.
Like Jennerman has a killer record and he's a killer opponent, so it's like, okay, I lost to a really tough dude. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like I know I lost to a tough dude, and I know that my preparation going into that fight was fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
You know? So not to make any excuses or anything like that, but I know what it is, and you know, that's all that matters.
I think what matters most is you've shown a willingness to fight anybody, and to anybody who would, because it's 2022 and everyone's got a fucking opinion about everything. Like, right? Oh, the funky Burd, he don't fight nobody. It's like, that's not true. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's funny. People are chirping me all the time, fucking mentioning me, talking shit.
well, they can all get it then, because you're not going to hide from anybody. You're going to take a compelling fight, and you proved that because you didn't have to fight gentlemen. You could have avoided that fight. You could have been like, nah, I'm 5-0. He's got too much experience. I don't want to do it. You did it. And you went into that fight as a dog, and you knew that people were going to consider you an underdog, but you showed a willingness to get out there, fight on a very high stage in front of a lot of different people, and make it happen. That was the co-main event. And that was a big stage. There were a lot of people there, but you weren't afraid to take the fight. And I think that shows something. I think that shows a willingness to be a fighter, right? Because not everybody's like, yeah, you might be a fighter, but not everyone's a fighter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's like you got a lot of these guys that want to protect their little records, so they only want to fight cans. They don't want to fight anybody good. And I think you've completely blown that narrative out of the water.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Sometimes you got to crush a few cans to get to the top, but yeah, you see a lot of people just milking their record, fight a bunch of scrubs. But I mean, whatever. You got to do what you got to do.
And you're about to do the dirty work very, very soon. I was so pumped when I found out that you're going to be on the LFA card. You just fought in January, and here we are. It's a few months later. It's springtime. I wasn't expecting to see you back until summer. So this is kind of like an unexpected treat for me. It's going to be on Fight Pass. I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm super excited about that. Can you tell me a little bit, how did this kind of come about? Was this part of the game plan? Did this just show up? How did you get this fight against Kegan Gennrich?
So spoke with my managers and stuff after the fight, and they're like, hey, we could get you a fight for like a smaller organization or like a tougher fight for like LFA. Like the only LFA fights are going to be tough fights. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I would rather, fight a tougher dude in a bigger organization than like someone with a mediocre record in like a smaller organization. Like B2 was throwing some dudes at me, which like would have been fine. But like I said, I would rather take a tougher fight for a bigger organization than, what I just said. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my managers just kind of made it happen, and they hit me up. They're like, yo, LFA is going to be in Wisconsin. They want you back. Mark Berry, I'm not sure what his position is for LFA. He's like maybe part owner, at least runs some sort of it. Emailed me and was like, hey, just so you know, we're coming back to Wisconsin. Hit my manager up, and then, yeah, just made it happen.
This is a guy that your opponent, this is a guy that he's a Wisconsin dude just like you, and you were actually supposed to fight this guy, and the bout fell through. But it was like a couple years back that you're supposed to fight him. Was it because of the Rona that fight never happened, or was there something else?
Honestly, I'm not sure why I think it was for chosen few, and I don't know. Maybe he got injured, or like I think maybe he had another fight opportunity. Honestly, I'm not sure, but yeah, his name's been floated a bunch, and yeah, I mean, it's a tough fight. He's like 6'1", 6'2", So he's tall, rangy, good wrestling, solid jiu-jitsu, solid striking. So yeah, it'll be a tough fight for sure. But I'm really looking forward to, like I said, I feel like I'm really hitting my stride, like cardio wise, like grappling wise, striking wise. I'm just really putting it all together. And it's weird going into this fight. Like even like before every single fight, I've been super confident. And even this one, like I'm super confident, but coming off that loss it definitely changes things. It's like, damn, like losing again, like is in the back of my mind more often than I want it to be. Just like hanging out back there, just like, hey, Funky Burd, like here I am.
Yeah.
But it's like it's all good. I feel really good. Honestly, like I feel my weight is really good. Like my training is going really good. I'm happy. Things are going good, like in the home life. So yeah, I feel really good leading up to it, but like just coming off of a loss is like
it's a mind fuck, I'm sure.
It is, dude. It's a little different, especially now because it's like fighting for LFA. It's a bigger stage, like it's on Fight Pass. It's like I'm pumped for it. Like I'm super excited, but I'm also like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like I gotta deliver.
Yeah.
Like I have to like produce the goods.
Yeah.
One of the things about your opponent, people are going to look at his record and they're automatically going to assume, this is why, again, I swear to God, I say this every episode. Make sure you guys look beyond the record. Go to Tapology and look exactly at who these guys are fighting, how long they've been in the game. Because at first glance, if you looked at your opponent's record, he's got a 3-2 record. So people would look at it and be like, okay, this is a tune-up fight. He wants an easy fight before he gets somebody, to build his confidence up, whatever. This guy ain't a tune-up fight, man. Like I'm looking at the guys that he's fought in the past. He's coming off a loss against Evan Elder, who's in the UFC, and he survived 15 minutes with him. JT Schulte, he won that fight. I believe Tyler Jones fought him before. Tyler's a freaking animal. So like this guy is not a scrub. He might not have a lot of fights under his belt, but he was an undefeated amateur. He's not the most active dude, but like he's definitely not somebody to be fucked with either. And I don't think that people are really appreciating or going to necessarily know how good this guy really is until the fight actually happens.
Yeah, he's definitely a tough fight, but like I said, I would rather take a tougher fight for a bigger organization. Like I know, he's long and rangy. He wrestled, he's scrappy. So he's been in some tough fights with some tough dudes. So yeah, I'm expecting what I'm expecting, whatever, fucking knock him down, drag him out.
Without giving anything away, because I don't ask questions about like, I don't really know if there's such thing as a game plan. Like people talk about game plans, but it's like, this is a fight. Like fights are unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen until it actually happens. Like you could say all day long that, yeah, I'm going to like jab this guy's face off. Okay, well, he took you down and now you're on your back. Now what? What's your game plan now? So it's kind of a bullshit question. And that's why I don't ask it, because it's a load of horse shit. But I'll rephrase it. This guy, you hit on a few things that I wanted to talk about. He's long, he's rangy. But in a way, when I look at you, I think you're long and rangy too for the weight class. So like, yeah, he might be a little bit taller than you, but like from a, I don't know. It's just like the height isn't really all that much of a discrepancy to me. He is a big dude, but so are you for the weight class. Is there something about his game that sticks out at you as being like a strength of his, like something where you're like, oh wow, he's really good at like X, Y, or Z?
Honestly, nothing like crazy. Like I think he's gonna be like really strong, and just like have like a solid base and like be pretty scrambly. But like nothing that he does like really like scares me. Like I watched some of the fight with Evan, and it looks like he can crack and stuff, but honestly, he looks off balance a lot. I don't know. There's definitely some things that we saw that I think I can exploit, but like going into it, it's I have some things that like I think I'm gonna try to do, but I'm just gonna go wherever the fight goes, and try to do what I do, and regardless of what he does or what he tries to do.
Make sure to save the finishing move I taught you It only works for round 3. I'm just saying. So, like, don't blow your wad on rounds 1 or 2. Don't blow your load, I should say. How's that? How's that for being a pitch man?
Yeah, that was good.
So I wanted to, before I let you go, I kind of wanted to ask, like, getting a win off of like a bad loss, getting a win over this guy who's a stud, by the way. I saw it, I dug in, and I was like, okay, why is Austin fighting this guy? I have to understand why. So I did. I did homework on this guy. I looked at him. I saw who we fought, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. I understand. What would getting a win against a guy this good like do for you as far as the rest of 2022 is concerned?
I mean, honestly, I think it puts me in a great position to be signed by a bigger organization, hopefully, or at least get an opportunity to fight for a bigger organization. You know, win this fight. I'm 6-1, 6 finishes, yeah, I don't know. I think my record is solid. I fought tough guys, and it puts me in a great position to, like I said, hopefully get a fight for a bigger organization. I mean, if I have to do another one, then I have to do another one, but you know, whatever as long as I just keep stacking the wins, like eventually I'll get what's coming.
Dana, very soon. I'm sure Austin's going to be calling you out. Austin, I'm looking forward to this fight. And for the people that aren't going to be in Oshkosh, it's happening on Friday night, May the 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's 8 p.m. Central time if you're in the land of milk and cheese. And did you know, Austin, did you know? Did you know that Oshkosh, the company, they actually make tanks, or at least they did once upon a time? Tanks.
Tanks?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm just like, they don't just like make like shoes and toddler clothes. Like they have like made tanks before.
Oshkosh Bagosh?
Yeah.
That company makes tanks?
100%. Yeah, I'm not bullshitting you. It's 100% true.
They do have like, when you drive up to Oshkosh, they have like a huge fucking, I think it's Air Force, some sort of like military base thing there.
Yeah, they've like make like, or I don't know if it's true now, but I know for a fact in the past they have like made military armaments before.
Yeah, that's sick.
Right? But like they masquerade themselves as Sesame Street, but they're badasses, dude.
Yeah, right.
They're hiding in plain sight. Kind of like you.
Exactly.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Awesome. I want to give you a chance. I know that you have a lot of people in the Funky Crew that you need to shout out, especially your Jizz sponsor. So why don't you go ahead and take care of
that? Yeah, first and foremost, gotta thank my Jizz sponsor, Load Boost, Vitali Boost. So yeah, they always keep it hooked up with some CBD, some Load Boost, vitamins, protein, all that fun stuff. Who else I got? My man Tyler Little over here. Yep, running the fucking best MMA podcast in the game. Ariel Hawani, watch your back.
I want to fight him. Dude, I want to fight him. I really do. I'm dead serious. Like, I wish there was like some sort of like fucked up fight island of sorts, but only like podcasters are on it. and dude, I'd love to fight that guy. Like, he would be the guy I'd want to fight. I think I'd fuck him up.
Why do you want to fight him? Just to take a spot?
I don't know. He's got a punchable face, man. I don't know. Like, it's just like, I like John Morgan. I wouldn't want to fight John Morgan. He's cool. I don't have anything bad to say. Like, I certainly am not going to fight Michael Bisping. Fuck that. But like, I look at Ariel Hawani, I'm like, that skinny little fucker. Like, I'd fuck him up. I would. But you'd have to be in my corner though. You'd have to like train me and shit. And you know. But here's what I want to do. I want to shoot, and I want to put a Kimura on him. And I figure you're the perfect guy to learn all that shit from.
Oh, I got you. No problem. Just fucking smoke him.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I'd be disrespectful as fuck. I would, 100%. We talked about Load Boost. We talked about a few other things. What else? Are we missing anybody?
No, I mean, other than obviously everyone at B Team, all the dudes that are giving me round work or wall work, I'm sorry, Isaac, Craig, all the coaches and stuff. My boys Cody Steele, Keaton, everyone at BFF, the Tackets. Who else? Ambush Muay Thai. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying shit now. But my homies at Primal, obviously, Ben, Scotty, Jimmy, fuck Jimmy, but
Yeah,
So,
fuck you, Jimmy. I don't know who that is, but
no, dude, fuck Jimmy.
oh,
My
okay.
girlfriend, obviously, she's chilling over there. Where's she at?
Hello.
Somewhere. My dogs. I want to thank them.
Can we talk one final question about the funky walkout song? Like what like have you used in the past? Like I gotta know. I gotta try to like figure it out.
Usually, my go-to has been "Purple Hat" by Sophie Tucker.
I don't know who that is.
Brother, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Treat yourself.
All right. What
Yeah.
so like what genre is it? Like
This is like it's kind of like it's like techno-y. It's like kind of like new wave techno. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but it's a fucking banger.
oh, so it's like doing acid kind of music?
Kind of, but like more EDM-y, more like Molly and ecstasy.
Okay. Okay. All right. Have you ever thought about just something really fucked up like as like a walkout song that would make people laugh?
No, actually, I haven't.
Like I don't like Jackson 5 or something.
Oh yeah, I see, but I think that's a banger. Like ABC, like that's
Yeah. I think that would be perfect for you actually.
yeah. I mean, it's in the cards. It's been in the walkout song bank before, but it's just never been selected.
Never been selected. Well, make sure you guys tune in for the fight and we will figure out firsthand what it was that he chose. Austin, appreciate your time. We'll do it again soon, bro.